Ever met somebody who collects power? Like other people collect baseball cards I have. Trust me, you never forget the first time you realize your neighbor isn't just nosy, she's got a doctorate in bossiness. That's how I met Madison Crowell. And let me tell you, if authority was an Olympic sport, she'd have more gold than Michael Phelps. It started off almost funny in a way only the truly absurd can be. Picture this, I'm out on my little patch of land just north of the Arizona pines minding my business. My place isn't much a cabin, some goats a half-finished workshop, and about 6 miles of dirt road between me and anything resembling Starbucks. But I loved it mostly because it was mine. My little DIY haven tricked out with every redneck smart home gadget you can imagine. Cameras, auto-locking gates, motion sensors, Wi-Fi boosters so strong they'd beam signal through granite. Why not paranoia, just laziness? I like peace of mind. I want to know my coffee's hot, my gates are closed, and my goats are, well, mostly where goats are supposed to be. Anyway, that peace lasted about as long as a bowl of ice cream in Phoenix. Because here comes Madison. Always dressed for a meeting nobody else was invited to. Always clutching a clipboard. If you saw her at the lake, you'd swear she was about to grade the fish on how well they were swimming. At first, she'd just slow roll past my driveway, eyes squinted mentally tallying every antenna camera and, God forbid, solar panel on my roof. But I had other things to worry about, a teenage son named Lucas who could cause more trouble before breakfast than most people manage in a week, and a day job that pays for all those gadgets. Still, there's only so long you can ignore someone determined to be in your business. Madison started making helpful comments in that voice people use when they're absolutely not being helpful. That's quite a lot of equipment, don't you think? Or, electromagnetic interference is a real concern these days. Or the classic, some people are worried about privacy. Whenever she said some people, what she meant was me. I tried brushing her off playing dumb because, call me old-fashioned. I grew up believing a man's land was his castle. I'd read the HOA bylaws so many times I could quote them in my sleep. And I knew for a fact nothing I was doing was against any rule. I thought that'd be the end of it. Yeah, right. One afternoon, I'm out wrestling a fence post because nothing says weekend like sweating through your shirt for the privilege of maybe keeping your goats where you left them, and Lucas comes running up, wheezing with laughter. "Dad, you've got to come see this. Clipboard lady's on the porch." Sure enough, there she is, standing like she's about to announce a merger, not knock on a neighbor's door. "Oh, perfect," she says when she sees me. "I was just hoping to catch you." I ask about what. She flashes that smile, the kind that's technically friendly but mostly just teeth. "I need access to your Wi-Fi network." I blink. Once, twice, come again. "Your Wi-Fi. It has excellent coverage. Some residents have trouble with connectivity by the lake. It would be beneficial if you shared it." Behind me, Lucas practically snorts iced tea out his nose. I stare at her, trying to wrap my head around what I'm hearing. "It's private," I say. "I pay for it." She doesn't even flinch. "Yes, but..." Lucas jumps in. "Why would we give you our Wi-Fi? It's literally ours. On our property." For the first time, her smile twitches. Then it snaps back twice as stiff. "I'm not asking. I'm suggesting what's best for everyone." Lucas, bless his blunt little heart, goes, "That sounds a lot like asking." Oof. Should have known better. Madison's voice gets sharp. "This is an emergency situation. People rely on connectivity, medical devices, remote work." Lucas fires back. "You've been saying it's an emergency for 6 months. She doesn't like that. That's when she leans in all formal and chilly and says, "I'd hate for this to become a compliance issue." And let me tell you, I felt something click inside me right then. "Madison, this conversation is over." She stiffens, gives me this look like I'm the one causing trouble, and stalks off. But that wasn't the end. That was just the start of a very weird war. She started showing up more, waving her phone around at the edge of my driveway, yelling, "I need to connect. It's urgent." At sunrise, at sunset, once in slippers and a robe. Neighbors started whispering. My son, who at this point was basically a mad scientist with a grudge, decided to handle it. I probably should have asked what handle meant, but I was tired. And honestly, I was curious. Over the next 48 hours, Lucas went full Mission Impossible on our network VPN, firewalls, custom access, denial screens. The works. And just to put a cherry on top, he made the warning screen bright red, flashing access denied, trespasser detected, property owner notified. The next morning, I'm sipping my coffee on the porch when I hear this weird muffled scream. There's Madison standing at the fence, jabbing at her tablet like it owes her money. Every device, same red screen. Her face cycles from confusion to rage to something almost like panic. She storms over. You need to fix this right now. I smile real slow. Fix what? This. She waves her tablet like a lawyer brandishing evidence. Your system is hacking my devices. I lean over. Looks like it's working perfectly. That's our system on our property. And you've been trying to access it without permission. Every attempt is logged. Time, location, device ID. She turns a shade of purple I didn't know humans could pull off. You can't record me without consent. Lucas steps forward. We're recording access to our equipment. Big difference. Now this is the part where some folks might be thinking, wait, can she actually do that? Can an HOA president demand your Wi-Fi? Could this turn into some kind of legal nightmare? Short answer, no, not even close. HOAs exists to manage the shared stuff, lakes, landscaping, parking. Not your private property, not your personal utilities, and definitely not your internet. Your Wi-Fi is like your water heater. If someone keeps demanding access, especially when you say no, and keeps pushing, that's called harassment. And Madison, for all her rules and order, had no clue how deep she'd waded into the legal mud. But see, people like Madison, they don't just want the rule. They want the exception. They want you to make one tiny compromise, so next time they can ask for a bigger one. They push and push using words like community and emergency, and for the good of everyone. But what they're really after is simple control. Lucas got that instinctively. He kept logs, screenshots. Every time her device pinged our network, he saved it. Because in a fight with an HOA, documentation isn't just your friend, it's your only lifeline. Next time Madison tried her luck, she got an audience. Neighbors walked by, slowed down, phones out. She tried to bluff, said I was harassing her, said I was blocking her medical devices, anything to get the crowd on her side. But the evidence didn't lie. I showed the logs. Dates times device IDs. Weeks worth. For a second I saw it, real fear in her eyes. The sense that for once, the room wasn't on her side. She threatened to report me to the board. Please do, I said as calm as could be. I'd like this on record. HOA meeting night rolls around and it's pure theater. Madison brings folders, handouts, even a slideshow about digital aggression. She starts her speech and bless her heart, she loses the room in about 30 seconds. Finally, one of the other board members pipes up. Madison, are you upset because you can't use his Wi-Fi? Dead silence. You could hear the crickets choking. She tries to spin it. It's more complicated than that. It's really not, and everyone knows it. I pull out my phone, run through the logs. Never messaged her, never contacted her, never even so much as changed my password since the first attempt. It was all her. That's when it's over. The board gives her a formal warning, orders mediation training. And just like that, at the next election, she's gone no more clipboard, no more patrols, no more Madison at the edge of my driveway with her Wi-Fi hungry eyes. It's quiet. Eerily quiet, actually. Sometimes I see her car go past, eyes straight ahead, windows up. And that suits me just fine. No lawsuit, no screaming, no YouTube meltdown, just peace. Which, if you ask me, is the best justice there is. Sitting on my porch now, watching the sun melt into the lake, I catch myself thinking how strange all this was. How sometimes the universe gives you the exact neighbor you need to learn a lesson you didn't want. I mean, Madison wasn't evil. She was just used to winning. Used to folks backing down, rolling over, saying yes, ma'am, because it's easier than a fight. But when someone finally says no, and means it when you draw that line and hold it, no matter how polite or persistent they get, well, it changes the game. That's the real twist. Madison never expected someone would fight her with structure instead of shouting. She didn't lose because she was wrong. She lost because we kept records. Because we knew the rules and stuck to them even when it got messy. Here's the thing, boundaries are only as good as your willingness to defend them. Not with fists or fury or Facebook rants, but with calm, with patience, with documentation. People lose not because they're in the wrong, but because they don't keep the receipts. They try to be nice, they let things slide, and by the time they realize what's happening, it's too late. Lucas showed me that. He never stooped to her level, never tried to humiliate her. He just built a system, a quiet, invisible wall, and let her run into it again and again until she stopped. That's real strength. Not bullying back, but not backing down either. And maybe the wildest part, technology didn't start this fight, but it sure ended it. It wasn't about fancy gadgets, it was about leverage. About using the tools at hand to keep your little corner of the world safe without turning into the thing you're fighting. So if you're dealing with your own Madison, Maybe it's a boss or a relative or the guy at the gym who forgets to wipe down the equipment, remember? Peace isn't just something you get. It's something you build every day with small, stubborn steps. Now, I'm curious, have you ever had somebody push past your boundaries thinking they were just helping or managing for your own good? Where's the line between standing up for yourself and just being difficult? Do you think Madison got what she deserved, or was it too much? Drop your story in the comments. I read them all. Sometimes they make me laugh, sometimes they make me shake my head. But they always remind me, your space matters, your peace matters, and you never ever have to apologize for protecting it.